Big Blue Nation, what's going on? This is the Loyal BBN Fan Show. Thank you for tuning in. I am your host, Michael, and I just wanted to come on real quick before going to work and just talk a couple of minutes of Kentucky basketball. Um, just got up this morning, just looked at the polls. Didn't when I went to bed last night. I didn't see the polls wasn't out yet, so getting up this morning, seeing that the AP has moved us down just 2 spots to number 8 in the country, I take that. At the end of the day, does it really matter what number is beside us? Regardless if we're number 40, if we're number 4, if we're number 1, we still got to go out and we still got to execute and we still got to play basketball. So it really doesn't matter about that number. So what I want to say is it's good. We get ready to play Mississippi State on Wednesday night. Short-term memory. That's what it comes down to. I can't say that we went down to Texas A&M and got beat, but they didn't hand us our butt. That's okay. So tonight on this little brief show, I want to talk about 3 things. I want to talk about our bigs. I want to talk about Theo, and I want to talk about we are growing as a team and as the young experience that seemed to be the headline about the Kentucky Wildcats. We're growing. And we're getting it together. And I think that's a very positive for what's happening for Kentucky. Our bigs, look, that was the first time since Bradshaw has been on the court that he's been a complete no factor in a sense of he just wasn't on the floor. I don't anticipate that happening again. I don't see him going in a game and picking up 3 fouls in the first 5 minutes of a ball game, and he's basically done until halfway through the second half. I expect him to understand what he was doing. I expect the coaches to help him correct that. I expect him to be able to put his hands straight up. Hey, sometimes you just can't help when the referees are just calling fouls. It's what it is. So you can't get upset about what the refs are doing. You got to just go out there and you got to play your game. It's so important for the Kentucky Wildcats to have Bradshaw on the floor. Now, on the other hand, what we had a chance to see, and I mentioned this in my post-game show, is we got a chance to see who Ugo was. And that guy, he's a valuable aspect to our team. He ain't the same player that he was last year. He didn't get a lot of playing time. I think what he stepped on the floor and showed us what he's capable of doing, it helped us. And most importantly, it helped him and his confidence. Sometimes when you can't get on the floor, you don't get a chance to build your self-confidence. And when you don't get a chance and you're always looking over your shoulder and you always wonder what Cal's going to do, sometimes you go out there on the floor and you can be a little timid. So this game against Texas A&M, he didn't have to look over his shoulder and wondering if he makes a mistake, is Cal going to take him out? Cal's hands was tied. He had to play him. And I think that was really good for our team. That was a blessing in disguise. I don't know how people look at it. That's how I have to continue to look at it. As if, yes, I wanted to beat Texas A&M. Yes, I wanted. But if we're going to take any silver lining from what happened, we understand now that when Bradshaw is healthy, when he is on, and when he's on the floor, and when he needs to come out for a break, we realize that we're not going to have a letdown in the talent when Ugo comes on the court. That's so big in what we're trying to accomplish here at Kentucky. This is bigger than just losing one ball game. This is what can we do now that we have 2 effective bigs. And if the NCAA ever, and I mean ever, decides to free Big Z, we're extra special. We got those 3 dominant bigs that can come in the ball game at every single point in the ball game. We can have an effective 7-footer on the floor at all times. I don't know what the NCAA is doing, man, but this is bogus. Free Z. Let's get this guy back on the floor. Have to. This is a shame. Like, if you don't like Calipari, whatever, if you don't like Kentucky, don't take it out on this young man. This young man, he just wants to play basketball, and let him play, let him get back on the floor. But yeah, our bigs are so crucial. I know a lot of people feel like they got to get stronger. They got to get more physical. And I agree with that. Teams are looking at us and saying, look, they got 7-footers, but they're not very aggressive. They're not very strong. So teams are going to go at us in that matter. It's only so much that Trey Mitchell can do, even though he's a bull. He's not 7 foot. He's only like 6'9", I think. That's it. There's only so much he can do with a bigger with a bigger five. He can, he can go out there, he can bang. We know he's going to give you his very best, but at the end of the day, it's only so much that he can do. And because of that, that's why our bigs are going to have to get mentally and physically tough. Now, because the games come so fast, you got to kind of get in weightlifting when you can, where you can, how you can fit it in or whatever. But also it becomes a mental thing. Like, I cannot allow these guys to just push me around all night long. I got to find some way to be able to do this. And it means I got to get mentally strong. And I know since I've been a little kid playing basketball, the number one thing is find a body and block out. And I think that applies across everybody on our basketball team. We had too many people looking when the ball went up. We know they was going to tap the ball out, and still nobody found a body, and no one put their body on the other opponent. So that's something that we definitely 100% have got to improve on, is just getting back to the basics, is blocking out, because we can't allow teams to keep out rebounding us just because we won't find a body and put ourselves on them. We just got to go do it. And we got to find a way to get over that rebounding thing. Next, I want to talk about Theo. Man, this is delicate because he is such an integral part of the Wildcats, and we completely understand who he is, and we completely understand like what we need in him and how important he is. I don't know if he's playing against Mississippi State. If there's one thing we know about Cal keeps his injured players on hush hush for as long as possible, and people sometimes don't even really know what's going on. And we just get lost, and we realize 10 games down the road is that we don't even know what's wrong with the guy. So I hope this is back. I also mentioned this in my video as well, is that I hope it's just an injury. I hope he's really, and I hate to say this because it sounds odd to wish somebody to be hurt, but I really hope that that's all it is. It's just, it truly is a back injury, and that he's going to be returning soon healthy, because we need him in order to make a run for March. Absolutely. Because his physicality, he can kind of, while he can't guard all centers and all of that, we just have to figure out, we got to figure out how to get him back on the floor, and we got to figure out how to play ball. So I like this right here. Someone said this right here. Our bigs will be fine. They are not the problem. We have to defend at the guard position. We cannot allow the two guards to get 25 plus in the same game. No, I agree with that 100%. Our guards have to learn, and they have to stop people. Like the way that Davis from North Carolina, the guys from Texas A&M, how those guys just was able to score. Pretty much every guard this year that we've actually played this year has been truly effective against us, because we're not stopping. We're not stopping those guys, and we're letting those guys go off. One thing that we know that is history, though, is with the Kentucky Wildcats, there's somebody in each ball game when they play Kentucky. They might not have had a good game prior to us, but they always come out. They always come out against Kentucky, and they seem to play the best game that they've ever played in a long time. Unfortunately, we still got to do better at that. We can't have that as an excuse of just, well, everybody's just going to have their star game against Kentucky. At some point or another, our guards are going to have to guard, and that's across the board. That's not just picking on one person. So I agree with that user who actually said that our guards are the problem. I don't think our bigs are the problem. I think our bigs are going to be okay. It's not them. It's not them who's letting the guys take them off the dribble every single time down the court and get 25 points a game. I agree with you 100%, but we still are going to have our bigs as well. Our bigs are not a problem. I think if we had Bradshaw more of that ball game against A&M, I think maybe we have a different outcome. But it sort of is what it is. It is. But yeah, Theo, back to Theo, that guy, I really hope that he's back on the court sooner than later, because we need him. He's so effective. He really is. And, I don't think we have anybody on our team outside of Trey Mitchell that would bang you, that would go up and has as much energy as Theo does. And that's something for our team this particular year is hard to replace. You have to have him on the floor for what he does. It's It's just one of those things that we're just not going to be able to get over. We're going to have to continue to work hard. Like, we still got a lot of season left, man. We still got a chance to be truly effective. We still got a chance to have a very special year. It's not over just because we go down on the road and lose in a very hostile environment, technically by 3 points, but because they shot free throws at the end of the game, they made it 5. I'm still riding with 3 points because those other free throws was just gimme. So whatever. But Kentucky's still okay. Kentucky's still in a good shape. I think we just got our main thing, and I think everyone, no matter what you think about Kentucky, I think we all can agree on one thing. Our defense sucks, and we're going to have to do better. As collectively as a team, we're going to have to do a whole lot better than what we're doing. I like that. One of the storylines this week has been the inexperience of Kentucky caught up with them, and that means we wasn't able to close out Texas A&M because of maybe inexperience. People always say if you're gonna mess up in practice, because that's where you get better at. That's where you learn to improve at, is when you're in practice, and I think that's so important too as well. Like, we want to win every ball game. As a UK fan, the standards is we win ball games. Period. We find ways to win ball games. But at the end of the day, we still got to understand that our team is young, but we're growing. And I think these growing pains that we are experiencing, it gives me hope that we're going to be okay, that there's no need for Kentucky or any fans to panic about losing a game down at Texas A&M. We're growing. And I still think Kentucky has one of the best upsides in the country. No one's safe. The polls didn't really shake up too much this week, from what I saw. I just kind of glanced at it just to see where Kentucky's at. But, we just got to continue to, each game, we're building that experience. And everything that we do leads up to one part of the season, and that's March. And that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to get the best seed that we can, but we also just trying to build experience. We also trying to go out there and just build that bond together that we continue to build. Like things like those games like Texas A&M, I think games like that continue to bring us together. I think that's what bonds us so tight, is when we go down there, we fight so hard, and we barely come up short on the road in that hostile environment. And now it's short-term memory. Now it's just time to go back to work now. We got to get ready for Mississippi State. If you think Mississippi State is going to come into Rupp Arena and just say, let's just lay down and let's just let the Cats win, no. Those guys are coming in to beat Kentucky. Kentucky's got to be on their A game. And I look for those guys. I look for the crowd at Rupp Arena to be a factor in helping the Cats find that energy to be able to pull off that win against Mississippi State. But I always say, when you come to Kentucky, you don't need that extra push of a crowd to say, let's play ball. Just the energy, just being at Kentucky, makes all the difference in the world. You know what you're coming into when you come to Kentucky to play basketball. You understand what's happening. And when you come to Kentucky, you bring in your A game, because not everyone can get that call from Coach Cal or his coaches. So you understand the intensity that when you step on the floor wearing a Kentucky jersey, you know what you have to do. So let that game go from Texas A&M, get on the floor against Mississippi State, and let's get this win for sure. Let's see right here. I would like to see Shepard with more minutes with the first unit, a better on-ball defender, and control the floor of the game. See, I don't know if he's a better on the ball. Now, he plays good off the ball. Like I said, people are going to disagree with me, and that's what I love about the comments. I love that people. But Reeves is one of those guys who's going to have to get better defending the basketball. He just is. I read a post last week about a guy that talked about Reeves. He was completely true. I could not argue with the guy. Like, people know that they can back Reed down, playing off the ball, helping out, the weak side defense. He can come over and steal the ball. Is he still a good defensive player? Yeah, he's still good, but all of our players, all of our guards need to get better. Reed is still a crucial player. He's already almost averaging more minutes than anybody on the floor, if I'm correct. I mean, he's out there because he's an integral part of the team. So, I mean, at the end of the day, let me ask you guys a question then. Someone said that Cal should play 10 people. And let me see if I get this right. Cal should play 10 people. And at the last few minutes of the ball game, the 5 guys who have been playing the hardest, who have contributed the most, those are the guys who should close out the game. Give everybody an equal amount of minutes. I think it was like 10 minutes apiece in the first half. See how that goes. And then towards the end of the ball game, pick the 5 guys who has been the most effective for that particular ball game, and that's who should close out your ball game. I thought that was pretty interesting thought. Will that make guys play a lot harder, knowing that that the last part of the ball game, those are the guys who's going to be relied upon to close the ball game? I think so. I think so too. That's pretty much what he's done. I think it's really good, man. So let's see, 8th and 10th position. I still don't understand how Tennessee is still ahead of Kentucky. It was frustrating loss, but we're learning and growing. We do need better defense and rebounding. Yes, we do. I agree with you 100%. Reed is good to have in the game at the end. Reeves was told by the NBA he needs to play better defense. Do you think Reeves is playing better defense than he was last year? Do you think he's doing better? How can you not? How can you not have it? Depends on where the game is at and what we need. Is Reeves a player? Oh, it's just so hard sometimes. Reed and Reeves. Is Reeves a player that needs to be on the floor at the end of the game? Or is it just situational as far as what we need doing? That's why I thought he's averaging starting minutes, just not with the starting unit. I thought so too. I thought he was getting real like 30. He's getting over like 33, 34 minutes of ball game. Like, I don't think anybody else is really getting more than him than Mitchell. I think Mitchell's really the only one who's probably getting more minutes than Reed Shepherd is. Reed's out there a lot. And when he's out there, he's contributing. And believe me, when Reed is on the floor, I think we still get a sense of security knowing that he's such a smart guy. His IQ is so smart. I really feel like we, as Kentucky fans, I really think that we really get that sense of security as far as, hey, he's out there. I feel like we're going to be okay. I think we have a chance to actually have a chance to really win this ball game. So it's just so much that we can do. At the end of the day, we just got to get ready to play Mississippi State. We got to get this win. I think that this is Edwards needs to come off the bench. I start Dillingham or Shepherd. A lot of fans feel this way, man. A lot of fans. And unfortunately, someone used the word earlier about Cal, and Cal is just selfish. Cal is not going to start his superstar freshmen because other guys who coming in view that as in, if I'm not playing good, I'm getting benched. So Cal is just, I don't know if that's a recruiting tool that Cal just refuses to change from or what. But I mean, I can't remember what play it was, but it was a player that I think we had a couple of years ago that understood that, hey, I come off the bench because I'm better off the bench. Let somebody else start. I think, and this is just my opinion about Edwards. Edwards, you know what I'm saying? Edwards wants to go pro. I get it. All them kids want to go pro. Who doesn't? If I were Edwards and I really cared about my Kentucky Wildcats and I really cared about the brothers out there on the floor and I really cared about the end product, the winning, I would go to Cal and say, Cal, yo, just bring me off the bench. I'm good. Devin Booker came off the bench. Those guys came off the bench and look what they're doing. They're still making a killing. And they still playing ball in the pro. Shea came off the bench for a while. So, like, Edwards shouldn't be ashamed of coming off the bench. It just comes down to, I want to win basketballs, coach. And if somebody else can come into basketball and somebody else can help us get that start, that power lead in the beginning of the ball game, then bring me off the bench. Look, Reed said he don't mind coming off the bench. Reed gets a chance to sit on the bench. He gets a chance to observe, to see what the other team is doing. He gets to come in the game, and then he gets to execute. Edwards could do the same thing. I just think it's a matter of pride. And I like Edwards, and I think he showed spurts of what he could do. But I just think at the end of the day, Even if Theo was healthy, I'm bringing Theo in maybe. Well, you can't because then you got to bring in Mitchell because Mitchell's on the floor. So I think his hands are kind of tied with that. But yeah, bring in another guard off the bench to complement that, and I think we would be okay. But yeah, Edwards he's just not having the breakout year that we hoped he would have, and currently at the moment he's not really showing signs of I'm coming. He shows little flashes. He's hit a big three. He hit some jump shots or whatever. But as far as him being the person that everyone said he was going to be, as far as him being considered the number one draft pick coming into the season, we haven't saw the glimpse of that we're still waiting to see. And I think that's what we're waiting for as a fan base to see. Is this really going to happen? And if so, when is it going to happen? DJ Wagner, he's coming on. He's starting to play basketball. He's starting to be that true dog with the basketball. He can take his guy off the dribble. He can go and he can go get a basket. And I think that makes a difference in our ball games too. I know this sounds crazy because no team or no player wants to lose a ball game. But I think our players really take it personal when they lose. We're going to bounce back. I feel like we're going to beat Mississippi State, and we're going to continue to roll. The SEC is hard this year. It really is. Auburn's playing great basketball, but Auburn always has a good team in regular season, but then down the stretch, they just start falling off. Kentucky has to be that team that continuously has a little bump, but we keep rising. We just keep rising, not necessarily in the polls, but personally as a group and as a team, we just keep rising together. We keep building something special. And I think that's what we're going to continue to do as the year continues to grow. We just hope we don't have too many bumps in the road where we lose ball games. But we got to protect home court the same way these other teams are. We got to get this win. And we got to let the SEC know that Kentucky took a loss, but we're still UK and we're still coming. So I like that. If we have hit our regular percentage of free throws at A&M, we would have won. We lost. I think we missed eight free throws we missed that game. We missed some free throws, and Reed missed. I think Reed had a 3-point free throws. He missed one of those, which is extremely rare. Reed doesn't miss free throws very often, but all this stuff is at the end of the day, everything I think is fixable. It's just a matter of when it comes down to rebounding, to wanting to, you got to want to guard somebody. You got to get sick and tired of getting beat. You can't let people walk over you forever. At some point in time, our guards are going to have to guard somebody because it's putting a lot of pressure on our bigs to get the lobs behind us, the guy cutting back door. If our guards can't guard anybody, it's putting way too much pressure on our bigs back. So we're learning and we're going to be okay. I'm definitely not in panic mode whatsoever. We got to just keep rolling. The biggest thing is just we got to stay connected. The guys got to stay connected. And I don't see any signs of that not happening. As Reed Shepherd said this week when I read something, he's calling Kentucky a brotherhood. How big of a brotherhood really is this? We'll see going out to play Mississippi State, what kind of brotherhood this is and how connected we are and how we're ready to play this game. And we got to be on fire because Mississippi State, those guys are coming in and they're coming to beat the Wildcats. So let's just keep moving and let's just keep winning ball games, Kentucky. Let's do it. We still got a chance, a big chance. It's still just one loss. We still got a chance. Other teams, Auburn's going to lose a game. I'm not worried about that. Those guys are going to lose. They're going to take a loss. Tennessee's going to lose another one. Heck, we probably going to lose another one. So the SEC title is still up in the air. It's still not out of reach. We're right there with other teams. We still got a chance. And I think we still got a great opportunity that we can go out here and still win this. But for me, the biggest thing for me is continue to grow and take it one game at a time. We can't look past. We can't worry about what other teams are doing. The only thing we can do is just take care of what we can. We got to control what we can control, and that's all we can do. So go Cats. I appreciate it. It's a really SEC is tough conference, especially on the road. Every team wants to beat Kentucky really bad. They do. And I think that's something that contributes to having a guard that just goes off against Kentucky. I mean, it's been happening for so long against Kentucky, especially when teams go to Rupp Arena. Guys that we ain't even never heard of before just come into Rupp Arena and they just go off. We go on the road and play somebody that's playing, okay. They're playing okay basketball. But when they play Kentucky, they find a way to just, like, this is something that they're going to look back on 15 or 25 years ago and be like, yo, dog, I played Kentucky. I torched those guys for 20, 35 points. It was nothing. You know what I'm saying? This is people's legacies when they play for Kentucky. What can I do against the blue blood of the SEC, the Kentucky Wildcats? And people just play out of their minds. And it's just something that I don't know if something that we just gonna have to just deal with or what. But it is what is gonna happen, because every game, one guy is just gonna go off and just play their best basketball against the Cats. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It is something. It's 4:43 in the morning right now. So I'm actually, I can't drive for 2 months until they process me in the country. So I'm having to catch a ride with somebody. So everything I do is on a clock or whatever. But someone told me yesterday, a day before, I need to come on more. And I wanted to do that because I love talking Kentucky sports with you guys. I don't have all the answers. Some of you guys are so smart when it comes to basketball that you guys help me even do my show just by the comments that you guys make. And you guys challenge me to be better every single time that I go live. So I appreciate that. If you haven't followed me yet on Twitter, X/Twitter, follow me at Big Mike 2014-23. Also, thanks to guys on YouTube, Mike Miles Voice, thank you so much for being on YouTube and follow me. Follow me on YouTube, the Loyal BBN fans. I appreciate all you guys. I really do. Go Cats. I'm getting ready to go to work and do something at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. I just show up and they tell me to go do work, and that's what I do. But appreciate you guys. I really do. And one proud, but it seems like Deal defers to DJ Antonio, unfortunately. What do you mean by that? Seem like Deal defers to DJ. You mean gives the ball to the Dillingham is he's on, man. Like, look, I know I got to go to work, but Dillingham he's a special kid, dude. He is. And one last thing, and then you guys, first of all, if you love the Cats, just give me a Go Big Blue, Go Cats, something. If you're watching, just give me one of those. Go Cats, Go Big Blue. Let's make it happen. But anyway, one question before I leave, and then you guys just keep responding down here, okay? Do you guys feel like Dillingham should have took that last shot in regulation, or did he make the right play by throwing it over to Wagner and letting Wagner try to make a play? A lot of people have told me I wish Dilly would have took that shot. I mean, after all, Dilly had hit 3 straight threes. Like, what do we have to lose? I mean, we already getting ready to go to overtime if we don't make it. So, hey, give it to the hot hand. I think he should have stepped up. Yeah, I think so too. I think he should have stepped up and actually took that shot too. Man, I love my Cats, baby. I love my Wildcats. I'm telling you. Look, we as fans, we have to have short-term memory too as well. We have to move on. And I've moved on. Like, one thing about me, I want you guys to understand, if we're gonna lose a ball game, I love my Cats. But I can't tell you how many endings of a ball game when I know we was going to win the ball game that at the last point of it, I turn it off and I don't go watch. And I don't watch the handshakes. I let the handshakes go. Like, I don't want to see our guys looking like that. I want to remember our guys smiling, happy, and just doing their thing. So I always cut it off right before the handshake. So I don't see that misery on their face. But I'm over it. I love my Wildcats, man, and I'm excited. I'm excited to watch my Wildcats play Mississippi State and get that W. So we got this. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. He should have took it. See, keep the ball and take away the chance for a bad pass or catch. That Mike, yep. And that's exactly what happened. You nailed it. That's exactly what happened. If you don't keep the ball, but for nothing else, to eliminate the chance of a bad pass or a catch or whatever, we didn't even get a shot off. I think that's the part that's going to irk our guys the most, is that we didn't even get a shot off to even give our chance to do it. So I think if the situation comes down to it again, Dillingham is taking that shot. I really do. I think that guy, win or lose, I think Dilly is going to take that shot. And I think Cal's going to be like, hey, take that shot next time. You was on, young fella. Let's do it, big guy. Let's get that shot and let's put it down. So, hey, I appreciate it. Let me know what your let me know if you follow me on Twitter, X, let me know what your handle is or whatever on there. And I would definitely follow you guys back as well too. Absolutely. Because if you follow me, I definitely want to follow you too as well. I think that's only right. So let's go Cats. Let's keep winning and let's beat Mississippi State and go Cats. Thank you guys.